that were still going to be delicious, and that I would eat, and my friend that you see behind me recipe and what made it work. How did you get certain things like chai spice cookies and delicious, and I can actually pass them on. Otherwise it's just not worth doing. Something to look forward to in the cookbook printed as soon as possible. Why I need to be fundraising at the finish line. About 4 years ago I was diagnosed with a variety of food intolerances to things like wheat, rice, dairy, eggs, soy. The list just goes on, and it was devastating at the time to be told that I wasn't going to be able to eat some of my favorite things. However, I did have a very compassionate naturopath at the time who said, you know, you do have to live, so I've adopted the philosophy that sometimes you just have to eat pizza. So yeah, do I still enjoy the foods that I really enjoy or that I love in their true form? Of course I do. But the whole point of my blog that I started 4 years ago and my cookbook was so that I could have things that weren't going to hurt me, that were still going to be delicious, and that I would enjoy serving to my family and my friends. So along the way I have experimented in my kitchen that you see behind me. And there have been some pretty hilarious failed experiments along the way where it was pretty much just ready to be thrown in the bin at the end. It wasn't even edible. So there's been a lot of time and a lot of research that has gone into this project already, about four and a half years worth of research. So, and I've done that all in my own time. I have a library full of cookbooks, and none of them could help me. None of them had recipes that were usable intact. I had to go through and get an idea of what was in the recipe and what made it work. How did you get that type of bread to rise when there was no gluten in it? How did you get certain, you know, muffin recipes to work, or even cookie recipes to work? So I had to pick apart and dissect baking as I knew it and put it all back together, and that led to hours of research on different types of flour that was available that didn't have any wheat or gluten associations, even things that are for crop rotations that aren't even grown in the same fields, to make sure that there's no cross-contamination. So, you know, there's a fair bit of science that went into this in the end. Even though we're talking about cookies and we're talking about things like chai spice cookies and we're talking about chocolate chip cookies. I mean, these look like the real deal, but they're all gluten-free, and my goal has always been that I should be able to pass them off as the original. You know. Even though it seemed like the world was crashing down at the time, that I was going to make the best of it no matter what. And so this is a success story for me, that I've come to this point in time and I have enough recipes where I can publish a cookbook and have these beautiful baked goodies and recipes for delicious soups that are gluten-free and dairy-free and soy-free, casein-free, all kinds of things that that people are intolerant to and sensitive to today, and that hopefully I can help a few more other people. Something else that I'm incredibly proud of are the almond butter 2-bite brownies. They look exactly like the 2-bite brownies that you buy in the store, but there's absolutely no wheat, no gluten in them, and they are completely gooey and delicious and soft, and they don't fall apart, they don't taste like sawdust, and I can actually pass them off and not tell people that they're gluten-free, and they'll eat them and then tell them afterwards and see the looks of shock and awe. So that's always what I've gone for, is it has to be as good as the original, otherwise it's just not worth doing. So the blog has been up for about 4 years or so. The recipes, most of them are on there, but I do have some that are going to be exclusively available in the cookbook. I want to give my readers something to look forward to in the cookbook. So what I'm asking for is your support. come and support the Kooky Cakes project. Let's get this published. And why I need to be fundraising at the finish line. Thank you.